In 2024, a cryptocurrency called Tether moved more money than Visa and Mastercard combined. And in struggling economies, it's given people access to US dollars when their local currency fails. Today, I'll introduce you to one of the most valuable crypto projects in existence with its fair share of controversy. When Tether was first introduced, its promise was simple and revolutionary. One Tether token, or USDT, would always be worth exactly $1, backed 1-to-1. Think of it as a digital dollar, designed to let crypto traders move money around quickly without all the wild price swings or slow bank delays. But today, Tether's impact goes far beyond just crypto trading. Its most powerful use cases are found in places like Argentina, Lebanon, and Turkey, where people are literally fighting to protect their savings. Imagine living where your money loses half its value overnight. In Latin America, people aren't just trading Tether, they're living on it. It's a digital dollar backup, protecting their money from inflation of the local currency. Businesses use Tether for everything from groceries to salaries because it gives them access to a stable currency when their own government makes real US dollars almost impossible or expensive to get. And in the Middle East, merchants rely on Tether for international trade, avoiding their own local currency's wild fluctuations. It's how they preserve wealth and move money instantly when traditional banks fail them. For many, it's also a crucial tool for financial inclusion, allowing people in remote areas with no bank nearby to access stable money and avoid the crippling fees of old-school international transfers. Tether, the company behind USDT, is currently in excellent financial shape. In 2024, they made a massive $13 billion profit. They have far more assets than liabilities, meaning they have a huge safety cushion of over $7 billion. Tether has largely invested its reserves into very safe US government bonds, holding an incredible $113 billion in them. They've also seen good returns from their Bitcoin and gold holdings. In the past years, some critics questioned their assets in something called commercial paper. This was a risky short-term loan Tether gave to companies unknown to the public. These companies paid interest to Tether, who in turn used to maintain its link of 1-to-1 with the US dollar. The risk was if the companies didn't pay the interest, Tether would not have enough money to maintain the peg to the US dollar. Since they got rid of commercial papers, according to the latest financial report of 2024, they are in better financial shape than ever. However, not everything is perfect in the crypto business, as despite its positive contributions to poor populations, Tether has been in significant controversy in the past years. The first red flag popped up right in Tether's own terms of service. It stated that Tether reserves the right to delay the redemption or withdrawal of Tether tokens. In simple terms, this means if you want to exchange your Tether for cash, Tether can delay or deny your request under certain conditions, like if rules aren't followed or if the reserve funds aren't available. This is a major red flag for a financial product where you should have complete control of when you need your money, but Tether explicitly states that you don't. Then came the broken promises about transparency. Back in 2017, Tether boldly declared they were completely open, saying their reserve holdings were published daily and are subject to frequent professional audits. But that claim, like so many others they made, has completely vanished from their website. For years, Tether hasn't had an in-depth audit by the big four auditing firms. When asked why, Tether's go-to excuse was always, "Nobody wants to touch us." In 2017, they did hire a reputable accounting firm, Friedman LLP, to do an audit. But then Tether abruptly bailed in the middle of the audit, complaining that Friedman was being excruciatingly detailed and asking for too much information. Think about that. They fired their auditor because the auditor was doing their job too well. It's almost as if Tether was desperate to hide the truth of what was really backing your dollars, hidden from the world. That alone should make anyone pause. The story gets even messier, with a huge crypto exchange called Bitfinex. For years, Bitfinex and Tether kept telling everyone they were totally separate companies. But in 2017, a huge leak of secret documents called the Paradise Papers blew their cover wide open. These papers revealed that Bitfinex and Tether weren't just connected, they were actually owned by the exact same people. This created a massive problem. If the same people owned both, could Bitfinex just create Tethers out of thin air, with no real dollars backing them? This fear wasn't just speculation, it was about to become real. Around 2017, both Tether and Bitfinex ran into a wall. Regular banks stopped wanting to work with them, so they turned to a very shady company called Crypto Capital, a kind of underground bank for clients no mainstream bank would touch. Bitfinex poured hundreds of millions of its customers' money into Crypto Capital. This company later turned out to have links to Latin American drug cartels. Federal authorities busted Crypto Capital, freezing all the money. Bitfinex, according to its own private documents, had a staggering $850 million of its customers' money stuck, making the company totally broke. They were about to collapse. A desperate and tricky plan emerged. Bitfinex, after losing a massive and undisclosed loss of funds tied to Crypto Capital Corp., secretly took hundreds of millions of dollars from Tether's reserves to cover its huge cash shortage. This money was meant to back Tether's digital dollars. Bitfinex misled everyone about their money troubles. They publicly claimed to not entirely understand the arguments that purport to show us insolvent, meaning they denied being broke, even while privately begging Crypto Capital for nearly $1 billion back. The New York Attorney General's findings confirm Bitfinex and Tether recklessly and unlawfully covered up massive financial losses to keep their scheme going and protect their bottom lines, proving they were in deep trouble and lied about how they fixed it. The web of lies grew, and the law came knocking. The New York Attorney General's office launched a 2-year investigation that shook the crypto world. The outcome? A settlement that forced Tether to pay millions in fines and banned them from operating in New York. Adding to the secrecy, when journalists tried to get the full government documents about Tether, Tether fought hard to block their release, claiming proprietary business information. It makes you wonder, what are they so desperate to hide? Many suspect it's not about protecting trade secrets, but about keeping the public in the dark. S&P Global Ratings, which is basically one of the most important and respected companies in the world for judging how financially sound companies are, recently gave Tether a grade. They assessed Tether's ability to keep its $1 peg at a score of 4 out of 5, where 1 is very strong and 5 is weak. So a 4 is not good. It means weakish. Why such a low grade? S&P specifically called out several major red flags. They cited limited transparency on reserve management and risk appetite, which means Tether isn't showing them enough about what they're actually holding to back your Tethers or how risky their investments are. They also pointed to a lack of a regulatory framework, meaning Tether isn't properly watched by financial authorities like a bank would be. Plus, no asset segregation to protect against the issuer's insolvency means that if Tether itself went broke, your money isn't legally separated and protected. It could just disappear with the company. And finally, limitations to Tether's primary redeemability, meaning it's not always easy or straightforward to cash out your Tethers for real US dollars. That's a pretty damning report card from a highly respected institution. It tells you that even the most serious financial watchdogs have major concerns about how Tether actually operates. Big US banks like JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citi, and Wells Fargo, and also fintechs, Visa and PayPal, are reportedly launching their own stablecoins that will compete directly with the use of Tether coins. We will see how this shakes up the stablecoin market dominated by Tether. As these respected and fully audited companies' stablecoins become adopted by people putting their money in more trustful and transparent companies based in the USA, rather than trusting Tether or crypto exchanges based in developing nations like the British Virgin Islands or El Salvador. This has led Paolo Ardoino, CEO of Tether, to issue a desperate tweet in February 2025 about the recent adoption of stablecoins from major banks, fintechs, and the government, stating, quote, "While our competitors' business model should be to build a better product and even bigger distribution network, their real intent is kill Tether. Every single business or political meeting that they have culminates with this intent. This aggressive stance, as Tether notes, shows just how much competition and political games US companies are doing to take market share from this foreign stablecoin company." Despite Tether's controversial past and ongoing transparency issues, its impact on global finance, particularly in unstable economies, speaks volumes. Yet, as major US banks and fintechs enter the stablecoin arena, Tether faces its biggest challenge yet, forcing it to accept detailed audits from trusted companies or risk being left behind. Creating videos that tackle important and sometimes sensitive topics like this requires the right atmosphere, and that's where Epidemic Sound comes in. They offer instant access to a massive library of high-quality, royalty-free music and sound effects, all completely covered. Ditch licensing headaches and deliver your message with confidence. Click the link below to ignite your videos with professional sound. Want more videos that explain what's really going on in the world of business? Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you're always in the loop. Thanks again for showing love on our last video, and our favorite comment from that one goes to